If you like saving money and you like eating delicious ribeyes, then this is the perfect video for you. Ribeye is obviously the best cut, am I right? Or am I right, Mike? We got one of these from Mike. It's probably the second most expensive cut, only to what, the filet mignon, I'd imagine. I'm gonna show you how to save tons of money by breaking down the entire rib yourself. And save tons, hundreds, thousands, millions, if you do it enough time. Let's do it. One thing before we get into it, this one was like 180 bucks. So it is not cheap to do, but if you think about how much meat you're getting, you're gonna save yourself so much money over the long haul that it is so worth it. We are going to break down this entire rib right now, and I've never done this before, so you're gonna see it live on camera to show you guys how easy it is. First and foremost, we're going to talk about the right tools for the job. I wanted to make sure that I knew as much as possible about knives. So I'm going to call my good friend Kyle over at Worksharp, and he's going to walk me through how to use knives to the best that I can and make sure they're sharp so that we can cut through this massive cut of beef effectively. Oh, there we go.
Hey, are we working now, man?
Yeah, we're working. How's it going, man?
I got you, man.
I'll explain to you, Kyle, what's going on here. I have this massive whole beef rib roast that I want to break down, and I wanted to get your thoughts on what kind of knives would be the best to use for this.
Two knives I'd recommend for this. One's going to be like your typical chef's knife, like an 8 to 10 inch.
Okay.
That's going to do kind of your heavy lifting when it comes to chopping that thing into steaks towards the end.
Okay.
The knife that's going to be doing a lot of your heavy lifting, getting in between those muscles, that's going to be your a fillet knife or like a boning knife is good for that.
We have a couple, so we have this big old chef's knife here, and we also have this little boning knife here, but it's very dull. Can you walk me through sharpening this knife kind of from beginning to end?
Yes, sir. So you've got, I think, the rolling knife sharpener there?
Yes, we got this the rolling one. Yep.
Cool. So whatever sharpening system, whether it's the rolling sharpener, a belt system, even a whetstone, you're going to start on the coarse abrasive, and what you're looking to do is remove enough material to where you reach the apex of the knife. So a lot of times as a knife dulls, it'll kind of start to do kind of to round off at the tip, and you want to get it back to a point. And we're just going to work on one side of that knife and make passes until you reach a burr, which means that you've removed enough material to where you've actually the top of that knife and pushed a small bit of metal over what will end up happening. And you're gonna be able to feel that with your finger. We're gonna flip the knife over, make that same process on the opposite side. Once you've got a burr on both sides, that means you've removed enough material to create a new edge. And now we're just gonna refine. So now you just go through your 600 grit, just make a few passes on the opposite side, and then go to your ceramic, and you're good to go.
Cool. Well, hey man, that's really helpful. I'm glad I was able to pick your brain a little bit about that.
For sure.
Okay. Hey, we'll see you. Kyle, what a good guy. I've learned anyone named Kyle is a good guy. We're going to try and get a couple of cuts here today from this. I'm going to try to show you all the ones that you can get. You're going to get stacks and stacks of ribeyes, and you are going to pay way less for them. So let's get into it. Let's cut into it, eh? So like here on the edge of this, you can see very easily, boom. If you just cut that right there, that's it. That's a ribeye. Done and dusted. Throw that on the grill. Easy.
A lot of steaks right there.
It is a lot of steaks. We have, how many bones do we have? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have 7 bones. So you can get 7 bone-ins, huge thick ones, or I think we'll probably get 10 or 11. We could get 10 or 11 steaks out of this. So this is 15 pounds. And I wanted the bone-in ones because I wanted to cut them off right there, and then we can use that and smoke that and make some dino ribs out of it, which I think will be super good. Everyone said, so I watched a lot of videos. I watched one from Certified Angus Beef, and I also watched one from, oh, what was his name? One second, let me look it up. I want to give him credit. Let's just cut a bone-in ribeye right now.
Look at that marbling.
that is pretty insane. So, right there, we have a beautiful bone-in ribeye. So look at that, easy, done, dusted. So if we just take these 4 right here, these 4 bones, and cut right after that, that's a prime rib. What I want to do is I want to make some back ribs. So I am going to cut off these bones. See, I'm just trying to stay as close as I can to this bone because I don't want to cut into the other parts. And this, and I probably don't need to even tell you this, but this is one of the best bites of barbecue, is the beef back ribs. And that's what you have right there. Boom, beef back ribs. You put a bunch of salt, pepper, garlic, smoke that bad boy. Delicious. There's a lot of hard fat here. I might just, look at that. Do not get rid of the beef fat. This beef fat is gold because you can throw it in the smoker for a couple of hours and you can make your very own beef tallow right there, and you pour that on anything and it is delicious. So do not throw away your fat discards when you're trimming it up. So there's just I'm just trying to get rid of some of this really thick fat up here because it's kind of making it hard to maneuver. It's a little bit more. I want to be careful not to overdo it. Yeah. So I don't want to cut into meat at all. And there's a little bit more right here that I just want to get off. So we're going to go about an inch. People say that this is the most flavorful cut of steak on the entire cow, and it is the rib cap. I am just going to literally peel off this part right here. Just take our freshly sharpened knife, cut a little bit. Just take that. Look at all that intermuscular fat in there. It's just insane. From here, there's a couple of things that we can do. Yeah? So there you go. There's all that fat for you. Essentially what I'm going to do is just take off this little layer of fat right there and make just these perfect little medallions right there. So I'm just going down and separating this. Yeah, this boning knife is very nice. Okay, okay, this is where I'm a little scared. Okay, that's fine. Right there. And I'm just gonna cut. Oh no, I'm losing a little bit. It's okay. So let's just pull this off a little bit more. So it's not gonna be as perfect as a butcher's, but the most important part is if it tastes good. And it's still going to taste delicious. So this right here, look at all that. What it's going to be great for is cutting down and making tallow out of, because it's going to impart a nice flavor to it. I mean, look at all that. That's pretty much, that's all just fat. And now we have all of this that we can either make tallow out of, or you could throw this into a bunch of lean beef and grind it up to make ground beef with. And then from here, we're just going to cut a whole bunch of these ribeye medallions, which is, I think, probably one of the best tasting steaks. So we have these 16 cuts of meat that we got from breaking down that one massive cut of beef. This is gonna save you so much money, because at the grocery store, you're paying upwards of 20 bucks for one steak. You're paying up to 20 bucks a steak in some cases, which is crazy. When we got 16 individual steaks for 180 bucks. So that is a lot better. That you're saving $5-6 a steak doing it that way. And so now that you've cut it all, the important part now is storing it. And this is what can cost you up to $5 more per steak is storing it, because you only are buying 2 at a time at the store when you can do it yourself and just put it in the freezer. So just put them in a Ziploc bag, write the date that you butchered it, write what they are, throw it in the freezer, and then just use them when the hankering hits you. It was worth me saving up to what? $320 if you were to buy it all at the store versus the $180 that it cost us to cut all these steaks ourselves. So you save tons of money, over $100 on steak. So there you go, there you have it. And we're gonna have to use a lot of this. So stay tuned, watch this video right here. It's a very good video. It's a prime rib. We deep fried that prime rib. Pretty cool. But we're gonna have to use all the steak. So stay tuned, subscribe, leave a like, let us know if you like fatty or not. I guess until next time, peace out.